Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Road to Glory. We're with Tier 1, and we are in the night race of Singapore this evening. What a race Singapore always brings up for us. Close walls, fast corners, slow corners, you name it, we got it all. There's bound to be safety cars here. Very difficult to look after your rear tyres, and I'm sure we're going to have quite a few incidents and great racing along the way. Sat beside me in the commentary box this evening is ARG. Welcome in, ARG.
Well, thank you, Marcus. Sorry, you got me a bit nervous, man.
Nah, you're all good.
Yes.
You're all good, ARG.
Yes. Singapore night race. Soft compound tires don't last around this track, so it will be interesting to see the tire selection and the strategy that the team uses this race.
Absolutely, it's going to be a big mix of strategies around here. As I say, it's quite hard on the rear tyres on here. There's a lot of like slow speed traction zones, so you've got to watch out on acceleration, especially if you're not running any traction control. Assists are allowed in this league as always, so there will be a mix of drivers who are and who aren't. We'll give you a quick rundown on the driver standings there in the championship. It looks like we've got Paul Jones Jr., Paul Keeley, who is at the moment running away with things on 68 points in the lead. Tom T2, the B2 in a Ferrari, is chasing with 43 points and is joint with his teammate Jim Bob or Jacob in the other Ferrari. So that's going to be a really tasty battle up the front. Chuckle Brothers not far behind in fourth on 32 points, and DJ Lawson in fifth. So there's a lot at stake this evening with only a couple of races to go in the championship. So
True. We had an early retirement as well. Simon Jr. on his outlap went straight into the wall.
Good spot there, ARG.
Yeah.
That was a very early retirement indeed. Where did he go into the wall, did you see?
No, not exactly.
No worries.
I saw him when he was reversing. Yeah. We have a few cars out on their outlap.
We certainly do. We've got an outlet. We've got Chuckle Brothers out. His teammate Russ out. Jim Bob is out in the Ferrari. Him and Tom have been inseparable in most of the races in Tier 1, so I'm looking forward to them having a battle. Inter-team rivalry as well, both driving for Ferrari.
True. Well, I have my eyes on Mar Inks driving the McLaren. He's very competitive fellow.
He certainly is as he goes through. Who's going to be the first to set a lap? I think it's Gromfeld there, but we will ride on board as we do normally. We'll ride on board with Russ as he's coming across the line now, and we'll show you a lap of Singapore. Coming into turn one, it's a 90-degree left-hander, but it turns straight into that right-hander, so you can take quite a bit of speed, but then you've got to slow it down for nearly a hairpin left. Get on the power nice and early, and then you've got a very fast 90-degree right-hander, but take a lot of speed through there because it is onto the only real straight, certainly your only overtaking opportunity in the race, and then hard on the brakes. Another 90-degree corner. Don't run wide as Russ did, but he did get away without an invalidation, and then into a very technical sort of sector on the right and the left. Once again, all pretty much 90-degree corners, but varying in speed and angle, so give it a bit of interest. And then another really slow speed sort of technical sector as we go over the first bridge, braking hard into the hairpin. Don't lock up a wheel and run wide as Russ has done. He didn't lock up, but he ran a bit wide. And then your second DRS zone over the bridge, and then we go into sector 3, which is will we attempt to go into Sector 3 without hitting the wall, if possible? Unfortunately, hopefully he hasn't got too much wing damage through there. But this is the sector that you need a lot of downforce on the car. You can use...
Very technical.
Absolutely, very technical. You've got to use a lot of the curbs, use a lot of the track, but very easy to unsettle the car on those curbs because they are quite big, heavy curbs. As we watch him go through the last corner, then just drop it down a gear, flick it in, the old Singapore sling they called it, and that's a 138.5. Not a bad lap on the mediums considering he did have a little incident halfway round.
P3 at the moment.
Certainly is. Knocked down to P4 as we had Mark Ince go across the line, so that was somebody you said to watch out for.
Watch out. With a 137.8.
Yeah, not a bad lap. Jason has gone second on 136.1, and that's on the medium tyres. It's only a few hundredths off Gronfeld in the Alfa Romeo, who's actually on soft. So it's looking a very competitive time from Jason at the moment.
True. And if Jason can start on those medium tyres, that would give him an advantage as well.
It certainly would, absolutely. I'm not entirely sure what the strategy is around Singapore, unfortunately. I do have confirmation in the chat that it is going to be a dry race. I'm presuming that's a dry qualifying as well, looking at it all the way through. So it's going to be a straightforward strategy, but I don't know what the strategy is, whether you can make a one-stop last round here or whether it is better to go for a two-stop. Like I said, I know tyre wear is quite high on the rear.
I think you have to preserve your tyres as best as you can, but while still pushing.
Yeah, yeah. Getting a nice balance,
impossible.
trying to, do the impossible.
Yeah. I'm on board with Aki at the moment.
No, yeah, Aki's set one out lap on his mediums. Is he going for a second push lap by the looks of it?
It seems so, yeah.
No worries at all. You let me know how Aki gets along. We're currently riding on board with Bumper Car Ben, who's just ahead of Aki on the road, actually. And we'll see what he can manage in the AlphaTauri on mediums as well, as is Mark, as is Aki. Through this final sector there, taking a bit of curb is the AlphaTauri. Let's see what he can manage as he goes through that old Singapore sling. That's very neat and tidy. Not pushing it too hard. It's a 138.4, not a bad lap. What can Mark do? Can he improve? He does. He does a 1.3 second improvement. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a big improvement. I'm presuming maybe he made a mistake on his first lap.
Yeah.
But that slots him into P6. Currently only 8 people set a lap as things stand, but there's quite a few people out there on laps. We've got Jim Bob on a lap as well, so let's watch with him. He's always a very, very quick driver.
Yeah.
DRS wide open. He's got a purple sector 1, so that's looking pretty good. Through the hairpin, keeping the minimum apex speed up. That was very neat and tidy through there. Running it
to the wall as well. Yeah.
Very close to the wall, exactly as you say. That's what you got to do to get the lap time around here. You got to use all of the track available, but it's a risk versus reward sort of balance.
So true.
How confident are you?
Very tidy from Jim Bob. DRS open again.
Certainly is. Jim Bob using a controller, which I can never fathom how people drive so fast on controller. I mean, you get a lot more traction coming out of the corners, but bar that, how they operate the steering, I will never know.
I know you're a fan of that guy.
Oh, definitely. I'm a get on the wheel guy. Much prefer it. It's more immersive. Definitely. A little bit of a slide there from Jim Bob coming out of the last sector, but I don't think it's affected him too much.
So.
Yeah. Oh, he's invalidated just before he goes across the line. That's a real shame.
Whoa.
And I'm pretty sure that looked like it was a 1:35 lap time.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it. But he invalidated. But Paul Jones does do a 1:35.9 on medium tyres as well. What a lap.
He's the championship leader as well.
He certainly is, looking to cement that position. That is a cracking lap, beating everyone on softs while he stays on the mediums.
So yeah. Marcus, Jason is just about to start his second lap, his second qualifying, and he's on soft tires as well. So let's jump on board with him.
He certainly is, yeah, absolutely. Let's see what he can manage in this racing point.
The pink Mercedes.
We've got Taylor Richardson in the chat. Gromveld is the RTG version of George Russell, Mr. Saturday. Absolutely, very, very quick in qualifying is Gromveld. Makes a few errors here and there, which unfortunately lets him down, but he is super quick. Super quick driver.
Yep.
As watch Jason using all of the track and a little bit more, judging it to perfection there. He's gone purple in sector 1, 4 tenths up on his previous best, so this is looking like it could well be a provisional pole.
He has a long way to go, though, Marcus. A long way to go.
He certainly does. I think it's the longest. Is it the longest lap on the calendar? This one?
I think so. One of them.
I know. It means the undercut is super powerful. It come the race.
Correct.
Because obviously you bolt on a new set of tyres and you get so much more grip on them that the guy who stays out has such a long way to go on that lap. It's just makes the undercut ridiculously powerful. So watch out for that one in the race. But we are currently in qualifying. We're not in the race just yet. We got all that to come for you this evening through this last sector, using all of the curves and a bit too much there. That's a real shame.
Out of that one.
Yeah, he was 7 tenths up at the end of sector 2, so how much more he would have gained in sector 3. That's the real sector that you're going to gain a lot of time switching tyres. But we'll watch Gromfeld coming along the line. He now goes provisional pole 135.4. So he puts
very fast.
Yeah, very fast indeed. That's a nice improvement, about half a second, well, 6 tenths of a second over his previous best. It's a big improvement indeed. And that slots Paul Jones back down to second place. And who else have we got? Anyone on a lap currently?
Checo brothers are on their outlet.
They certainly are. They're always ones to watch. Very quick. Ever improving, the Chuckle brothers.
Telling me.
Yeah, they are very quick. They've been improving race by race so much.
Yeah, we can't have Road to Glory and don't mention them.
Certainly not, absolutely. They are at the heart of Road to Glory. One of the more exciting drivers on the grid.
And here we go.
Certainly do. Taking a bit of the esports line off the track a bit there, that's perfect. That's what we like to see.
Nice, neat and tidy, use all the track.
Certainly is. Judged that really nicely on the exit there.
Very much so. Flirt a little bit with the wall.
Yeah. And DRS wide open. Benjamin 4454 has retired in the session. That looks like he's just over after the bridge. Looks like he's gone straight on there. It's a bit of a shame.
Oh.
But we are watching Chuckle Brothers. We can't see what's happened with the AlphaTauri. Got a McLaren of is that Mark? No, that'll be Bottomer. Got out of his way very nicely indeed. Currently a 10th up on his time, and it looks like it said it was a purple sector, but we'll see whether that's true. In through the middle sector, Ferrari getting out of the way very nicely. Very distracting still, even though they are getting out of the way. It can be very distracting as a driver when you're in that zone.
So true.
Still a 10th up, so he's managed to hold it, but not improving any more on his previous best in that time. In that sector, sorry. Get me words right.
Nice.
Through this last sector now. End of the bridge. So easy to outbrake yourself coming in there. But you lose a lot of time if you brake too early. Oh, he's taken a bit too much curb and invalidated through there.
Whoa.
And that is his lap over with. Very unfortunate. Let's see who else we got. Got a few coming out of the pits now as well. Quite a few people on out lap. Bumper Car Ben is on a lap as he comes across the line. Can he improve? He does improve by 2 tenths, but it's not enough to see him any further up the order. Still got T2 the B2, Jim Bob and Bottomer to set a lap as things stand. Jim Bob is about to go on his flying lap now. Oh, massive slide through the last sector, and he's crashed into the wall and he's out of qualifying. Oh my goodness.
Jim Bob. Whoa, what happened there?
He came through the Singapore sling, lost the back end just before the start-finish straight, overcorrected, went off the track and then lost the back end again. He just slammed his Ferrari into the wall, and that is game over for Jim Bob. He is back in the pits. His car's been recovered like magic. I love to see it. Great job by the marshals at Singapore. Hats off to you. But I'm sure he's going to be very disappointed with that, because he had the pace to put it up there on pole position.
So that just means that Jim Bob will have to work harder in the race, actually.
Certainly will, certainly will. I mean, the other benefit is he will be starting outside the top 10. He hasn't qualified on any tyres, so he'll be able to start on brand new tyres, which may give him a bit of an advantage over the top 10 ahead of him.
Yes.
Got Mark on and out lap now. One wing Markins in the pits. Chuckle Brothers on the lap. Are they going to improve? They do improve by 4/10. Slots them up into 4th place. Still 3/10 off of Jason though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good. A good chunk ahead of one wing in the Williams, so I'm sure they're happy with that. Jason is on a lap, currently 7/10 up. He's just coming into the final corner of the Singapore Sling now. Let's see whether he can improve. He certainly does a second improvement, and that puts it on provisional pole, as you say, rightly so, by 3/10 as well. 35.1. We're getting closer to those 34s.
Aki's starting the lap as well.
Certainly is. We haven't seen much of Mark this session. Let's see what he can manage. Wasn't using DRS then, or was that my eyes deceiving me?
He wasn't.
It didn't look like he was. No, it didn't look like he was using DRS there as he came down the start-finish straight. Let's see whether he uses it down the main straight now. Yeah, he certainly does.
Yes, fully open.
Yeah. Looks like a little bit of debris on track. Not sure what that is. But he drives straight over it. Not doesn't affect him. Bit of a lock-up.
Left front lock-up. Yes, yes.
But he can get away with it, I think, into this right-handed. It's all about your minimum apex speed there.
Yeah, T2 to the B2 is on the out lap. They haven't set a lap as yet.
Yeah, he certainly hasn't. And is that a McLaren gone straight on at the hairpin? It is Bottomer. Not sure what he's doing. He's gone straight on at the hairpin.
Yep.
You can see him straight ahead there as we ride on board with Mark. Obviously outbraked himself. He's taken off a bit of his front wing. See Jason getting out of the way of his teammate very nicely, kicking up a few marbles in the process. Another little lock-up for Mark, but not too bad at all. Mark, as ever, getting used to running no assist now. No ABS, no traction control, which is a very difficult thing to do.
He's getting a lot better.
Absolutely. You can see, you know, his pace got really coming back to where it was. And once he gets familiar with it and really comfortable, he'll be happily setting faster lap times than he did previously. Round the old Singapore Sling. Up across the line, it's 6th place, 137.242. Nice improvement.
Up 2 places, yep.
Yeah, certainly is. And that puts Racing Point in a good position as well with his teammate currently in pole position.
I'm on board with T2 to B2.
Certainly
He's
is.
on his fast lap. Yep, on mediums.
He certainly is. He is determined to start the race on mediums. I know Tom won't mind me saying he did pop me a message just before we went on air asking what the strategy was. My reply to him was, not a fucking clue. Apologies for the language. But no, I don't have a clue. I really don't have a clue with the strategy. I've only done a league race once, I think, around Singapore, and that was my second ever league race. I did. Whoa. That was back with Liga Speed, so and I think I spun off the start line and took out my teammate, so you know, didn't go so well.
If you haven't started your fast lap as yet, you can't because qualifying is actually over. Checker flag has been waved, so
certainly has. Checker flag is out, as you can see on the left hand side. All the drivers with the checker flag next to them will not be able to improve. But who else we got? Tom on his final attempt, coming across the line. What's it going to be? It's going to be third best. 135.9. That's a fantastic lap on mediums there.
Mediums, yeah. It's all set for a very interesting race.
Certainly is. He's just bested Paul Jones by a couple of hundredths of a second, if that.
Yep.
Who else? We're just waiting on Gronfeld, I think. Oh no, he's invalidated his lap. Who else is out there? Aki is, but it looks like he's on a slow one. And I think that is everybody.
So as it stands, Jason stands on pole, followed by Gronfeld in P2, T2 the B2 in P3, followed by Paul Jones, Chuckle Brothers, Russ Face, Aki, One Wing, Mark Inks, Bumper Car Ben, Jim Bob, Baltimore, Simon Jr. and Benjamin 4454.
Yeah, everybody, Jim Bob, Baltimore, Simon Jr. and Benjamin, none of them have set a lap time. Unfortunately, obviously, Jim Bob, Simon Jr. and Benjamin all crashed out, and I know Baltimore had a invalidated lap and also went straight on at the hairpin on his final attempt there. So,
yeah.
I'm sure he will be gutted about that and looking to make up a few places in the race, keep it neat and tidy. But what a grid order. That's going to be very interesting. Jason and Gromfeld at the front is going to be there fighting for position in the championship. Just behind them, T2 the B2 and Paul Jones also fighting for the championship. And Chuckle Brothers.
Chuckle Brothers, yeah.
Always ones to watch right behind. But yeah, it certainly looks like you would say T2 the B2 and Paul Jones have the pace. Only 7 8/10 off of pole position, and they're on the mediums. So they're looking like they're going to be pretty strong come the race.
Yeah. I am interested to find out, to see what tire compound Jim Bob, Baltimore, Simon Jr. and Benjamin go on.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I mean, they could start on the mediums. It could start on the hards, potentially. See how long they can hold it out.
I was thinking that.
Yeah, you've got a good chance of a safety car around here. You know, street circuit, very long, very easy to get it wrong. And yeah, we will see. We'll probably see a lot of safety cars or VSCs this evening. Hopefully the boys keep it nice and clean. We get some really good racing. What was that, ARG, sorry?
As usual, you said that.
As usual. I don't know. You didn't see the season opener in Australia. I think only 8 people finished.
Yeah, I did. It was. I don't want to say carnage, but
carnage.
It was busy.
Chaos. Obviously, don't forget we do have formation lap now in this league. So
and there's no pit assist.
And no pit assist either. So, and this is quite a difficult pit actually to come in to at the right speed. Very awkward sort of one. As we watch everyone get away for the formation lap there, Jason will lead them all away. No overtaking allowed. However, the game does seem to let you get away with it if you just want to bomb it round for the lap. See everyone getting their tyres up to temperature as much as they can. Gives us a bit of time to see what tyres everybody is on, what strategies. Let's see what they're on. Jim Bob's gone for the hard tyres, Bottomer gone for the mediums, Simon Jr. the mediums, and Benjamin's gone the hards as well. So
very interesting.
Certainly is Jim Bob and Benjamin looking to go extra long in this race.
Yeah.
And potentially an early safety car could benefit them. Save those guys on softer compound tyres and medium tyres, stretching any gap ahead of them. But we will see. It's going to be a long race. Got to keep your front wing into turn 1 and turn 2. Keep it intact on that first lap. That is key. No mistakes. So easy to make a mistake round here. It's almost like Monaco. The levels of concentration is absolutely intense.
Has to be on point.
Certainly does. Certainly does.
No room for mistakes.
No. If anything, you're better off just driving at, say, 90% rather than giving it your all lap after lap. Just taking it that little bit easier.
Yep.
I think one to watch in this race has got to be Jim Bob, hasn't it? Surely. Starting in 11th. He's got the pace to be up on that podium, if not winning the Grand Prix. And he's one of only 2 cars starting on hards.
He may be looking for driver of the day as well.
Certainly will be. Obviously, everyone watching, please do vote for driver of the day. Not now, please, because we haven't even started. But as we get towards the end of the Grand Prix, I often forget, so do remind me, ARG, or anyone in the chat, as we get a few laps in the end. Just pop in your votes for driver of the day.
Nice.
We will try and cover everyone throughout the course of this Grand Prix. It's always difficult to do so, but 14 drivers start this race. Let's see how many finish, and let's see in what order. It's going to be a very spicy race as we watch Benjamin in the AlphaTauri forming up at the end of the grid. Last car we are waiting for.
Right.
And we will have an imaginary person running behind the grid with his green flag. As we get going, the lights are on. 5 lights, and away we go for the Singapore Grand Prix. And it looks like it's a good start from Gromfeld actually at the front. I can't see what's going on. He does have a look at the inside of Jason, but he's not going to be close enough. Looks like it's fairly clean racing further back. One Wing and Bottomer have dropped down. Jim Bob's gone up a couple of places. He's up to 9th, so he's had a great start on those hard tyres. Working really, really well for him. There he... Oh, Gromfeld nearly looked like he went into the wall there. Looked pretty close, but I think he's got away with it. Looks like he's got his front wing. T2, Paul Jones, Chuckle Brothers, Russ, all holding their positions, but it's looking like it's going to get a bit spicy further back. The Williams fighting with the McLaren at bottom. One Wing was that cutting the inside of the corner, so I'm sure he's going to get at least a track warning for that. But so far, all clean on the first lap. Well raced, boys.
Very well done. Very well done.
That is exactly what we want to see. And there's your predicted pit stop strategy coming up now. If you're starting on the softs, it's going to be a 2-stop, mediums to mediums. If you're starting on the mediums, you can make the 1-stop last by going onto the hard compounded tyres. Looks like there's a couple of position changes further back. Bumper car Ben dropping down a couple of places there.
Yes, he just went wide at that corner, allowed Markins and Jim Bob to pass him.
Certainly is. There we go. If you look at your position changes as well, not much change on the whole. Looks like One Wing's the only person to drop down the order, drop down 4 places. Now Simon Jr. as Benjamin gets past him. Jim Bob, your big gainer, up 2 places on those hards, so I'm sure he's going to be very happy with that.
But to me, Jim Bob looked tentative on the hards right now, that they haven't warmed up enough as yet.
Yeah, this is it, absolutely. It looks like Jason's pulling a nice gap over Gronfeld up ahead.
Jim Bob is in the pits. I wonder if he has wing damage.
Oh, good point. He certainly is. Yeah, he has wing damage. Yep. You are right. That is a real shame for the Ferrari driver after a lightning start up to 9th place. Unfortunately, having to pit. Yeah, on the mediums, so... Perhaps making it a 1-stop from here. Well, he could go, actually, because he's used the hards. If he could make it mediums to mediums, potentially. As we're having a few glitches with the timing screens now, so we're not sure who is where. It'll be very difficult.
It had me just now.
Oh, good old Codemasters always let you down at the best of times, don't they?
Yes. But it seems as though Jason has the fastest lap with a 1:42.2.
Yeah, certainly. That's not a bad lap for the opening lap of the Grand Prix. Have we got any battles? It looks like it's pretty much a train at the moment. Chuckle Brothers running, dropping back a bit from Paul Jones. Bit of a gap there. Then there's another gap between Mark Ince and Bumper Car Ben. But other than that, everyone pretty much following in a line.
Yeah.
This is more like the actual Formula One, this. It's all very neat and clean and tidy and all running in DRS trains.
I'm on board with Jim Bob now and see how much he's pushing on these mediums to catch back up to the pack.
Certainly is, and that's the point where it becomes dangerous, because you don't want to push too hard at all. Because if you push too hard, as we watch, T2 the B2 having a look around the outside of Gronfeld coming into turn 1, but can't quite make the move there. So these mediums are already coming into their own. The pace of that Ferrari is looking pretty ominous. He will have DRS now coming down the start-finish straight. He's got a lovely exit. Gronfeld will also have DRS. But T2's... Oh, he has to back out a little bit there off the throttle, and I think that's cost him a run on the Alfa Romeo, sorry. Too many Alphas in this game.
So true.
Looks like Simon Jr. and Bumper Car Ben are also in the pits further down, so whether they got a little bit of damage, we'll have to see. Well, it looks like this is the main track on action at the moment. T2 closely followed by Paul Jones having a look at Gronfeld. You do have Mark Ince quite close to Russ further back as well. Other than that, everybody's spacing out quite nicely indeed. T2 has DRS. Looks like Gronfeld doesn't have DRS on Jason, and there you have it, confirmation. 1.2 second gap between him and Jason, so unless he can close up in this final sector, I think he could well be a sitting duck come the main overtaking spot.
I agree with you, Marcus.
Looks like he's just dropping back that a little bit too much. The pace of Jason is too much. As Benjamin has now retired from the session, and that has brought out a VSC.
Virtual safety car.
Absolutely, and that could put paid to T2's plans of overtaking him. It looks like the soft compound runners are in. That's Jason and Gromfeld both pitting using that VSC. And Gromfeld getting very close to the back of Jason there, coming in the pits.
This works good for Jim Bob as well.
Yeah, it certainly is. Allowing Jim Bob to get back out, although it is VSC, so if it was full safety car, it allowed him to get up to the back. Gromfeld's actually getting his wing change, so that's presumably why he was struggling for pace in the last couple of laps.
Yeah.
Both pitting and putting the medium compound tyres on, so more than likely making this a two-stop strategy. Bumper car Ben gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under VSC. That's a real shame for the AlphaTauri. Sat down in 12th position.
Simon Jr. has a penalty as well. Is that time or is that?
He certainly does, absolutely. Yeah, both guys at the back getting drive-through penalties as we see Simon Jr. driving straight through Bumper Car Ben as they come into the pit lane. Not sure what happened there. Who else have we got battling on track? Looks like Russ is very close to the back of Aki, hunting him down. Paul Jones also close to the back of T2. The B2s, he's running very deep there, Paul, and nearly puts it in the wall. Has to put on the brakes a little bit extra, and he's dropped back massively then because of that. That's a real shame for him. Yellow in Sector 1, what's that for? It looked like it was Simon Jr. and Bumper Car Ben, but I'm not entirely sure what happened there.
No, they were coming out the pits just now.
Russ has just put it in the wall. Russ following Aki as close, and Aki spun round as well. So it's all happening now on this fourth lap, and they've both lost their front wing. That is a real shame for the two drivers, the Racing Point driver and the Mercedes, both going to have to pit. Russ did when he outbraked himself coming under the tunnel, one of the easy places to do so. And Aki looks like he spun it with that no traction control and put it in the wall. Both got away with it, albeit lost their front wings, and Aki gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Yeah, just to rub salt into the wounds. That's a real shame there from the Racing Point. As Simon Jr. is now at this session, and it's brought out a full safety car.
Safety car. Whoa.
What happened
to Simon?
Well, Bumper Car Ben's out as well by the looks of it. And both in the same place, albeit separate to each other. So I think we can only speculate what's actually gone on there.
Yeah. Well, Jim Bob is actually changing his wing again.
Yeah, once again, and going on the hards. So looks like he's going to aim to go to the end of this Grand Prix. Good time for him, might as well. He's at the back of the field. Let's jump board with our leaders. Where's T2? He's coming through the middle sector now, so little way to go to the pits. Would you pit if you are mediums, or would you keep going? Because you hand a big advantage to the guys behind, but you're kind of wasting your tyres a little bit. If you pit now, even if you've got fresh mediums, you might be able to get back out in front of, say, who is it you're looking at? You're looking at Jason, who was the effective leader.
Yeah.
If T2 and Paul and Chuckle Brothers even pit now, they may get in and out ahead of Jason and Gromfeld, and that would be ideal for them.
Still have brand new tyres, correct?
Exactly. Whereas if they stayed out there on old tyres, and it does look like T2 is listening to my advice, although he gets a 5-second penalty speeding in the pit lane. Paul Jones is following in as well, keeps it neat and tidy. Chuckle Brothers in as well. Markins is attempting to come in, but missing the corner completely. So easy to do round here. All slowing down a lot. Yeah, his teammate Bottomer's coming in, so it's going to be a double stack for the McLarens. I'm presuming Jason's going to stay out. And let's keep an eye out on, this is going to be very close. T2 and Paul coming out of the pits now. Are they going to get out ahead of Jason? I have a feeling they are. Jason's trying to push his time delta as hard as he can, but he's going to slot in behind these two, and that hands them the advantage of track position.
Yeah, but they came out on soft compound tires, so Jason still has the advantage in the sense that he can go a little bit longer on the mediums.
That is true. So T2 and Paul Jones going to be looking to make good progress, good ground at this stage of the Grand Prix. All of them going to have to pit again. Nobody surely going to go to the end, with the exception of Mark Ince, who's come out on hard tyres, the only driver to do so.
P6.
Yeah, him and Jim Bob. Jim Bob, though, is at the back. You would say Jim Bob has really, really good pace, but he is on 2-lap-old hards. And at the back, Mark Ince in 6th, as you say, brand new hard tyres. He's in prime position to take a victory potentially here.
Yeah, very much so. He just needs to keep it tidy.
Certainly does. Hopefully, if he can stick on the back of Chuckle Brothers, cling on to their DRS, let them tow him along throughout the course of this Grand Prix, he may be on for a good result here.
Podium finish, yeah, podium finish.
Certainly is, I think.
He has a penalty. Has he 5-second penalty, or there's another one?
I think that was for when he came in before. I don't think he's been
5-second penalty.
Unless he's been back in to serve another pit stop. I didn't quite see, but you can see pretty much everybody on brand new tyres right now. It's only really sort of Gromfeld, Jason, One Wing, all that had pitted that little bit earlier, but they're only on 1-lap-old tyres. Jim Bob has pitted, but he had to put on his hard tyres that he did use at the start of the Grand Prix, so they do have some use on them.
They'll be scrubbed in well.
Yeah, exactly. They'll be scrubbed in, ready to go. Be up to temperature a little bit better.
You see if the car stays up for another lap?
Yeah, I think it might well do, because it looks like Jim Bob is not going to catch up with them. And we're going to get one more lap at least under the safety car. Jim Bob taking his time here, so this could be a tactical play by him.
Yeah.
Certainly the longer the safety car...
as possible.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's doing this on purpose, and I don't blame him. I mean, it is a bit naughty, but I do not blame him whatsoever.
It's all in the strategy, Marcus. It's all in the strategy.
It is. It's one of those where it's like, morally, it's probably the wrong thing to do, but actually playing by the rules, it's perfectly fine. You've got to be ruthless, I think, in racing, haven't you?
Well, he has caught up to Aki now, so...
Yeah, it didn't take him long to do so, did it?
Yeah.
No, he was definitely playing that one tactically, and I can't say I blame him. That one extra lap could pay dividends, because obviously everyone else, with the exception of Mark Ince, will have to pit again. Yeah, they want to build a gap to him and get that pit stops gap over him, whereas he doesn't want that. So that extra lap keeps him in touch with them, takes away their advantage of their softer tyres. So currently it looks like T2, the B2 and Paul Jones both got the jump via that safety car. They are on brand new softs, so they're going to be looking to fly off into the distance, I imagine. However, T2 has that 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. No doubt he will serve it in the pit stops when he pits next. So that does hand Paul Jones the advantage at the moment. Jason and Gromfeld sitting pretty. They were effective P1 and P2. Before the safety car, but the safety car spiced things up a bit, and they've lost track position.
Things have changed. Yeah.
Certainly have, as we get confirmation. Safety car will be in this lap, so looks like Tom will be slowing the pack down. He becomes de facto safety car. He chooses the pace right now. He cannot overtake the safety car on his way to the line, so he has to slow down enough for it to get into the pits. And he can choose whenever he wants to restart this race. He can, but once he does put his foot down, he cannot brake again. He has to commit to it. When's he going to go? He's going quite fast. He's not hanging back that much, so he's going to have to wait for a little bit longer. We'll ride on board with him, looking back at the Red Bull of Paul Jones. Into the Singapore Sling. He's still not going yet. He's going to have to go very, very soon, because the start line is coming up, and he does go.
And he's gone.
Just before the line. And he's got a nice jump over Paul Jones behind. Very nice jump indeed.
Yes.
Looks like Gromfeld's got the run on Jason, but not close enough coming into the first corner. There is a Mercedes round. That is Russ. Russ is round and in the wall and lost part of his front wing. That is a disaster. And Gromfeld is round as well.
Whoa.
Both look like they've lost it. Yeah, lost the back end. Fortunately, no wing damage for Gromfeld by the looks of things. So that's a saving grace for him.
Up to P9.
Certainly is. That's been a
breathing down the neck of Aki.
Yeah, he couldn't ask for a better restart for Jim Bob and Mark Ince really on those hard tyres, sitting in close to their respective cars in front of them. One wing is very close to the back of Mark Ince. Though, looks like... what's going on here? Aki, Jim Bob, and Bottomer all going side by side. Looks like Bottomer's holding everyone up here. Mark has gone at the inside. Jim Bob's having a look at the inside, but can't quite make the move. Bottomer gets a little tap with the wall. That was getting a bit feisty.
Yeah, Bottomer went wide, so that caused all the confusion.
Right, there we go. Yeah, I just jumped on board with them just as... It was like 3 wide over the bridge, and I thought that's an unusual place to be 3 wide there. Bottomer running wide once again. Oh, he's lost the back end there. Well held, Bottomer. Good car control. It has lost.
Me of WRC.
It certainly is. A bit more up my street. A bit of rallying. It looks like he's really struggling here for grip.
Yeah.
And Russ gets overtaken by Gromfeld. Obviously, no wing, and he's having to come into the pits, and that's going to drop him right down the order. Surely going on to hards here is his only option to gain some decent points. It's like closest battle on track is currently one wing sat in behind Mark Ince. T2 is pulling a nice gap on Paul Jones, second and a half actually. So it looks like Tom might have the pace at this point.
Let's see if one wing can close this gap and get past Mark.
Yeah, certainly that would be interesting. Let's see. Yeah, Russ has gone on to the hards at the back, so that's really his only choice from here. Other than that, everybody else spacing out very nicely indeed. It's only really one wing and Mark that are close on track. Jason
is just under half a second.
Yeah, Jason hanging on to Paul and Tom fairly well.
Yeah.
Considering he's on the mediums, that's really good pace indeed. You can see Chuckle Brothers dropping further back, dropping 3 seconds nearly to Jason. So he's struggling on the mediums. Jason isn't.
Yeah. Jason is right where he needs to be.
He certainly is, absolutely. It's going to hand him the advantage later on in the Grand Prix.
Correct. Mark Ince up to P5 on those hards. He's the man to watch.
Certainly is. I think he's in a prime position.
All he has to do is don't hit the wall.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Jim Bob's got a time penalty for corner cutting.
Multiple warnings he had. Yeah.
Certainly did. Let's check in with the penalties, shall we? At the moment, Aki on 5 seconds, Tom on a 5. Jim Bob, the only driver, on a corner cutting penalty on 3. Oh, one wing's gone down the order. One wing's gone straight on. Oh, and he's lost a bit of his front wing as well. So whether there was whether there was contact with Mark Ince or whether he did that all on his own, I did miss that one, unfortunately.
He was pushing too hard.
Yeah, must have been. He was all over the back of Mark, obviously on the hard tyres. So it has all gone wrong there. Mark Ince dropping back 4 seconds from Chuckle Brothers, who in turn have dropped back 4 seconds from Jason up ahead. However, Mark will not have to pit again.
Jim Bob is less than a second behind Aki.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, don't know about you, but if I was a betting man, I reckon Paul's going to get this race for victory. Tom in second. Jason third, and I reckon Mark Ince is going to come home fourth.
All right, my podium would be Paul Jones P1.
Yeah.
I think Tom for P2, and I'm not sure. I think Mark Haynes could do it for P3 for me.
It's going to be close, isn't it? It's going to be close.
Yes.
What a fascinating race this is turning out to be. As we see Jim Bob closing in on the back of Aki here, who in turn is trying to chase down Mark Ince on those hards.
Aki has actually pulled the gap on Jim Bob. The gap now is the second and 1.2 seconds, 1.3 actually.
Certainly has, yeah. It's a good point. He was catching him. Aki doesn't have much battery left, whereas Jim Bob has about 50%. So that could start coming into effect fairly soon, as we see one wing in the pits for brand new hards and a new wing, and presumably going to go to the end of this race as Russ gets past him now. Really has.
P2 is actually pulling away from P2 and P1.
Oh yeah, you're right there. Good spot. He's pulled 2.5 seconds. So
seconds. Whoa.
Whether Paul Jones is really struggling for pace, or whether he's made a mistake, or whether Tom's just that fast, we're yet to see.
But Jason is actually 6 seconds off the leader. Chuckle Brothers is 9. Mark is 14. Aki 16.
Yeah, Jason's in. I was going to say that Chuckle Brothers has caught up Jason quite a lot in that last lap. So has Jason given himself a little bit of wing damage? Because that's a very early pit for mediums.
We shall see.
And that promotes Mark Ince up to 4th, Aki 5th, Jim Bob 6th, Gromfeld 7th.
For Jason.
Yeah, it certainly is. And hard compound tyres. And he'll comfortably be out in 9th. There's a big gap back to Russ.
Mark Ince is in P4. Take note.
It certainly is. But he's already 15 seconds off the leaders.
Yeah.
And
but how long is he pitted around here, Marcus?
I don't know. I think it's about 25, 26 seconds. I think it's a fairly long one, actually. It is quite a long pit stop, but you've got to remember then, when T2 and Paul do pit, they're going to presumably be either on softs or mediums. Presumably mediums, I would imagine. And fresh ones. So even if they do come back out behind Mark, they're going to have the pace once again. And the gap they're pulling here says to me that...
It's unbelievable.
Oh, what's gone here? Jim Bob and Aki. They're both... Looks like Jim Bob's retired from the session.
That has brought out safety car.
It looked to me, another safety car, you're right there, and that is really going to play into Mark Ince's hands here.
Whoa.
Wow, yeah, that spiced things up. It looked to me like Jim Bob sent one up the inside of Aki, and they both sort of connected and went straight on, and Jim Bob's retired going straight on into the wall. Mark has got away with that. It looks like no wing damage either.
That was not the corner for that move. That corner comes to you so quick.
You can make a move there, but you've got to be so committed and brave, and it's difficult to do so.
Whoa.
Oh, looks like, all the leaders are pitting. Paul Jones in on mediums. Will mediums last to the end, though? It's going to be a stretch. That is going to be a bit of a stretch. I would have gone hards just to be safe, I think.
Yeah. Unless they're expecting another safety car.
Yeah, that is true. It's definitely handed Mark Ince the leader this Grand Prix. I don't know, can those mediums hold on to the end?
Can we get J Bob in this party and ask him how he feels about his exit?
We certainly can. I can send him an invite.
Yeah, man.
I'll send him an invite and see if he will... Yeah, that's true. He's probably a little bit fuming, I imagine, but we'll see. Where is Jim Bob? Just trying to look for him. Apologies about the delay here, but everybody... There is Jim Bob. Send him an invite, see what he wants to do. As we see, That's really reset things once again, hasn't it? Another safety car.
Everybody has served the penalty, so there's no penalties on the board.
Certainly is. The only drivers not to pit really under that VSC. Mark Ince, who's on 6-lap old hards, looking to get at the end. Russ, who pitted just a few laps earlier, and One Wing, who also pitted 1 lap before the safety car. Other than that, looks like everybody's gone in the pits for brand new tyres.
Do you feel that Mark Ince could hold off brand new mediums with those 6-lap old hards?
I don't think he'll be able to hold these guys up, but I just got to question whether those mediums will last to the end. Because not only have they got to pull again, they've got to get past Mark Ince, and then they've got to, well, I don't know, unless they really sort of back it off, but then they're fighting each other as well, so they're going to push each other. You got Paul Jones, T2 and Chuckle Brothers all gone on the mediums. Everyone else that pitted went hard, and that's the call I would go for. I would have gone to hards, because you've got the comfort then. I know the mediums will be quicker, but you won't have to look after them, and you can push all the way to the end. I mean, obviously, like you say, if there's another safety car between now and the end...
Yeah, so the big question is, will the mediums last to the end of the race? If we don't have another safety car, would the choice to go on mediums would have been a bad decision then?
I mean, what? Yeah, we're lap 14 of 31. We're not even halfway through this Grand Prix.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be a difficult one. That's a difficult call. I mean, anyone watching along at home, please pop in the chat what you would have done, and let me know what the life of mediums is round here. Whether you reckon it'll be a comfortable make it, or whether it'll be they will definitely have to pit, or whether it's going to be a little bit touch and go. I think it's going to be touch and go. But we shall see as we wait for the safety car to come back in. Surely going to be in at the end of this lap.
So we have Mark Ince in the McLaren in P1. I was predicting a P3, but let's see how that goes for him.
Certainly could, but you got to remember, he is in P1. He's got track position. He is on tyres that will go to the end. However, they've already done 7 laps. They are the oldest tyres of anyone on the grid.
Yep.
And he's got 3 very fast drivers behind him, all on mediums.
But Mark is very fast. Don't count him out. But as you said, he has the oldest tires on the grid.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely not. I'd never like to count him out here. Lap. Yeah, good call. Safety car in this lap, as you say. As Mark Ince now becomes
on board with Mark Ince. You're on board with Mark, right?
Yeah, I will be. Yeah, we will ride on board, but then we will look back at the Red Bull Paul Jones, who gained track position over T2 the B2 thanks to T2's 5-second penalty. Served it in the pit lane, got rid of it now, so he doesn't have that hanging over him. And Paul Jones has given a nice gap to Mark Ince here. He's hanging off from him quite a bit.
Interesting.
Looks like he's starting to catch up a little bit now.
Yep.
As we wait for the McLaren driver, who is going to go now through. Oh, that was a little bit naughty. He did actually accelerate there, and then he slowed down against. I think that was a little bit naughty. It looks like it's going to be quite a few drivers side by side further back. Chuckle Brothers has got the run on T2 the B2, who's dropping down the order. Jason now going up the inside of T2 the B2. This is played out very badly for T2.
I'm on board with Baltimore. You can see all this action.
Certainly can, yeah. We're jumping on board with Baltimore as well. Jason completing that move now. Chuckle Brothers up to a podium spot. Gromfeld into 4th place. And, looks like Paul Jones is making a move for the lead of the Grand Prix, and he's gone round the outside of Mark Ince. That was a beautiful move indeed.
Ballsy.
Certainly was. That is the best way to describe that.
And we said he couldn't defend it.
Yes. And Chuckle Brothers all over the back of Mark Ince as well. These mediums really looking a lot quicker. Oh, was that T2 the B2 just running the back of Grunfeld? I think T2 the B2 has a bit of damage. He does. He has. Oh, no, he doesn't. I'm not sure. It looked like he had a bit of wing damage. It looked like a red end plate. Whether that was Gronfeld even ran into the back of somebody. It was Gronfeld, I think. Yeah, Gronfeld's got a bit of wing damage. So obviously misjudged his braking point as T2 the B2 looks to send it up the inside.
Yep.
Wow, Gronfeld runs wide and gets himself a penalty for his troubles. T2 the B2 has gone back through into 4th place. Not good news.
Mark has lost his position to Checker Brothers. Mark is now down into P3. Yeah.
Yeah, good spot there. While we were watching that battle, Chuckle Brothers up to 2nd place. Markins really struggling on those hards. T2 the B2 now making a move on him. Oh, Jason's out. What happened to Jason through the last corner? And that's brought out another safety car.
Whoa.
Looks like Jason has dropped it on the exit of the last corner. I'm sure he's going to be absolutely fuming.
Yeah. I think he's one that would come on and talk to us a bit.
Oh, it's a break in front of me. Yeah, I won't repeat entirely what Jason's saying there.
Yeah, don't do that. Damn. So we have a safety car.
Yeah.
Paul Jones in P1, Chuckle Brothers in P2.
Third.
T2. That's Tom, right? And
Yeah.
P3?
T2's Tom Humphreys. Yeah, looking at Mark's looking pretty good.
If you were Mark Hinks, if you were Mark Hinks right now, under the safety car, lap 16 of 31, what would you do?
I mean, you've got to stick it out, surely. You've committed to this plan. However, having said that, if he does pit, he's only going to drop down to 9th place. With all these retirements, he's only going to be in 9th place.
Points.
So he's going to drop 5 places, but he could drop down, put it on fresh mediums, and then not have to worry about tyre wear, because surely now mediums will go to the end fairly comfortably, you would have thought.
Yes.
Yeah, difficult one. Looks like Gronfeld's just pitted and put on 9-lap old mediums, so he didn't have new mediums to use.
Wow. How will that play out for him?
As we see that Mark is deciding to pit. He has gone in the pits. We'll keep on board with him, see what he's going to put on. If he's got a brand new set of mediums, surely he will put those on. And looks like it is mediums ready to go on. It is, brand new mediums.
One Wing is also in the pit. Let's see what he puts on.
He's going the same. Yeah,
brand new mediums.
It's the tyre to be on right now, I think.
Yeah.
And this definitely helps the guys in the top 3 that I thought might be a bit... Mark Ince gets a 5-second penalty crossing the pit lane exit white line.
Whoa. Damn.
That's not
what he wanted.
No, not at all. Not at all. I tell you what, though, considering where the positions were, he's only actually dropped him. He's only dropped 2 places.
One or two. Yeah, 2 places.
Yeah, because he was ahead of Mark. The other Mark number 1, Mark number 2.
2.
So he's only actually dropped 2 places, and he's got brand new medium. So, yeah, that was definitely worth doing. However, he has got a time penalty.
He has a 3-second penalty as well.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate for him. But it looks like Paul Jones is in a good place to take this race victory. Currently leading the championship. And with Jim Bob retiring as well. Jim Bob is in joint 2nd place with Tom, aka T2 the B2. So it's looking pretty good for Paul right now.
Yeah. So we had a numerous pit stops this race. We have Paul Jones with 2 pit stops, Chuckle Brothers, Tom, Aki, Baltimore, Mark Hinks, all on 2 pit stops. We have Juan Wing, Russ Face on 3 pit stops, and Gronfeld on 4 pit stops. So he's on the podium for pit stops at the moment. Yeah,
it's been a lot of pit stops in this in this race, hasn't there?
Yeah.
Let's just bring that up. Now, how many stops everyone has had? You're right, Gromfeld on the most amount of stops on 4. We're going to have another lap under safety car. Let's look at our position changes, shall we? Looks like Bottomer's the biggest gainer, up 7 places from his starting position. Yeah. Gromfeld, the biggest loser, down 7. I tell you what, my throat is getting a bit dry. So what I'm going to do, ARG, I'm going to leave it on board with Paul Jones for the minute, and I'm just going to go grab a drink. I'll be back in, hopefully, before the end of this lap. I'm presuming we're going to go racing next lap.
Yeah, we'll bring one for me as well.
Will do, mate. Be right back.
Yeah. Road to Glory. You're watching Road to Glory. The commentators are Marcus Shart and ARG 2320 all the way from Barbados. So we are on the safety car, lap 18 of 31 at the Singapore Grand Prix. So don't forget, guys, nominate your driver of the day, probably, let's say, lap 25. Yeah. Lap 25, you could put in the chat or send us a message and let us know who you think is the driver of your day.
Right, I am back. I didn't miss much, did I?
No. Safety car is in this lap, though. You brought that charm back with you.
Oh, happy days. I've got my rum and coke, so that'll keep my throat nice and parched.
Nice. I was just telling them that remember to vote for the driver of the day, probably around lap 24, 25.
Yeah, absolutely. The laps will roll by very quickly. I know it's a long lap here. Well, let's see where everybody is. The two McLarens side by side. That could be an interesting battle. There's 2 McLarens on the restart. Let's keep an eye out for them, I think.
I think Marquez could be considered the Lando Norris and probably Bottomore the Ricardo of the McLaren.
Oh, Bottomer's not that slow, is he?
No, man.
Sorry. I'm a Danny Rick fan as well, don't worry.
Oh, yeah. But Danny's very good at wheel-to-wheel racing.
Oh, it looks like Chuckle Brothers nearly overtaking Paul before the line, and it hasn't paid off for them. Paul's got a really nice jump on them. T2 the B2 and Chuckle Brothers going side by side, but Chuckle Brothers has the inside line and maintains the position, but they've already dropped a second to Paul Jones Jr.
Crazy.
Absolutely, it was a good restart there by Paul. Judged it just right. Markin's very close to the back of Aki.
Yeah.
Markins already got past his teammate. Didn't take long for him to do that.
Team orders.
It must have been.
Whoa, there was accident.
Oh.
Russ face and one wing.
Oh dear, one wing and Russ come to blows, both in the wall. Looks like Russ has got away with that, damages his front wing, but one wings is definitely all over the track.
Yep. That's not good for his race.
Not at all. Once again, we did miss the start of that, so unfortunately can't see who was at fault. And shame we don't have replays or anything.
Yeah, probably in 2021.
Oh, that would be really nice.
Because they need to develop the broadcasting tools a lot more.
Yes, yeah, that would be really good. It'd be nice to get a bit of data. Yellow flag, that's one wings. One wings DNF'd. Oh, it looks like he's retired on track.
Whoa.
Oh, that's going to be a severe penalty coming his way. I'm sure. Oh, Bottomer's put it in the wall. Bottomer has lost his front wing underneath the tunnel and dropped a place to Gromfeld.
Markings has Aki in sights.
He certainly does. Certainly
Less
does.
than a minute.
Yeah, we got one driver of the day vote in the chat. Driver of the day vote for Jason. Person voting is Jason.
Oh, that's Void. That is Void.
I'm going to overrule that, I think. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
But thanks for joining us anyway, Jason.
Yeah.
Sorry about your
Very
race.
nice.
Looked like you had good pace up to then.
Yeah. Whoa, Markings just touched the wall, brushed the wall. No major damage, though.
Oh, that's good news for him. Looks like we've got T2 to B2 on the back of Chuckle Brothers. Also Markin still on the back of Aki. Can't find a way past. Looks like these guys are on set 4. And could finish as things stand. Only 8 drivers still in this Grand Prix. Oh, that Mark. Mark's lost his front wing.
Whoa.
Ooh, well, I say Mark, but they're both called Mark, aren't they? Aki, we'll call him Aki. Yeah.
We call him Mackie for now.
Yeah, absolutely. He's lost a bit of his front wing, and there goes his 4th place. That's a real shame for the Racing Point.
Yeah. Gives Markins the real opportunity to get past him. Under the bridge they go.
Certainly does. Well, I imagine Aki's probably going to decide to come in and pit this lap. He's on hards. Might as well go on the mediums. Go to the end. Possibly even on softs.
Is now enabled.
Oh, no, he's going to hang it out.
Stay out.
He's going to stay out. Okay.
He has lost that position.
He's lost the position, but he does have a good gap to Russ behind. So I'm wondering whether he's just thinking, let's just limp it home to 5th.
Whoa.
Either that or he hasn't got any more tyres left. One of the two.
Markins is actually pulling away from him as well, too.
Yeah, not surprised with that wing damage. It's only going to slow Mark up. Oh, Bottomer's out. Bottomer has crashed underneath the bridge.
Whoa.
And that's brought out a VSC.
Virtual safety car.
Yeah. That's a real shame.
Tom is actually close to Chuckle Brothers.
He is,
Very
yeah.
close as well. Yeah.
Just jumping in with these guys now. Watch them race. Once the VSC gets back underway, keep an eye on those time deltas, boys. Don't want to get drive
something interesting, Marcus. The P1 to P3, they're all on mediums. They're all the same age, 7 laps old.
Yeah, they are. Good point now, ARG. Paul Jones seems to have the pace over Chuckle Brothers. As we go back racing once again, anyone get a drive-through penalty? I don't think so. I think they've all kept it nice.
Nice and clean.
Absolutely. Good one, boys. That's what we like to see. But it looks like Paul Jones has the pace over Chuckle Brothers. Chuckle Brothers setting a good... they've gone under the radar, really, this race, haven't they? They've not been as quick as the leaders, but they've been quicker than the rest of the midfield.
Correct. Like a real Lando.
Yeah, absolutely. Like a real Lando Norris. They've been in no man's land, really. Although, having said that, Lando was up there with the pace of the Mercedes, wasn't he, on the weekend?
That race was awesome.
Oh,
that
mental.
Race was awesome.
I am a
bit harsh on the penalties, though.
I am a big Lando Norris fan, not only because he's British, but he also comes from Bristol, which is basically in Somerset, so my home county.
Whoa, nice.
So I will take that, and we do not get racing drivers in Somerset. We all drive tractors down here. We're not used to driving fast cars.
So when you get them, cherish them.
Yeah, this is it. This is it.
So I'm on board with Tom. Tom is all over Chuckle Brothers.
Certainly is, and it looks like Aki has decided to pit. He's gone on fresh softs to the end of the Grand Prix. Drops him to the back of the grid, but he is in 7th.
He should be racy.
Yeah, him and Gromfeld at the back of the grid, both on brand new softs. But Gromfeld has time penalties, so if Aki can get within 3 seconds of him, he will get 6th. And I'm sure Aki will take a finish in this Grand Prix.
Yeah.
There's T to the B2 getting ever closer to the back of Chuckle Brothers there.
Chuckle Brothers has a shorter result, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be happy either way, but they're going to try and hold on to the 2nd place if they can.
He's positioning that Mercedes right where it needs to be.
Yeah. Got a couple of comments in the chat. Warm Wings come into the chat. Not very happy with the racing this evening, but does say thanks for streaming, Marcus. Top notch. Absolutely, and a big thank you to ARG sat alongside me now this evening. It's so much easier when you do have a second person, and you've done a fantastic job, ARG. I hope you've enjoyed your first. Hope you've enjoyed your first commentating.
The first 30 seconds, I got my money worth.
Yeah. Hang on, are you paying me? Are you? Brilliant. I'll take that. I'll send you my bank details after.
PayPal only.
Yeah. And we've also got Bottomer in the chat. As we see T2 lining up a pass on the Mercedes, but can't quite make a move still.
Didn't make it stick.
Yeah. Looks like he's got a lot more battery though, so I think it's only going to be a matter of time. But we also have Bottomer put in the chat, I forgot to brake. Laughing my ass off. Well, who needs it? Well, at least we know what happened to the McLaren and Bottomer then. He didn't brake.
No brake.
who needs brakes?
Mark Inks, P4, let's jump on board with him. He's all by himself though. Got some clean air. Yeah.
Tell you what, my prediction wasn't too far wrong. I said, what did I say? I said Paul Jones first, T2 second, and then said Jason third and Mark Ince fourth.
Fourth, yeah.
Well, if T2 gets past Chuckle Brothers, I'll only be one out then. I'll only be Jason. Oh, yeah. I underestimated Chuckle Brothers, I think.
Yeah. But they're doing a very good job in keeping Tom behind, though.
Absolutely, they're positioning their car fantastically. They're not folding to the pressure either.
Yeah. Drive their race. Tom has DRS going down to the first left-hand corner. Let's see if he can make it. No, he pulls out.
Tom can see the red light flashing on Chuckle Brothers before they came into the braking zone there, so he knows they've not got much ERS left. Tom does have 70% ERS, and he will have the DRS now, but Chuckle Brothers gets a really nice drive coming off that corner. But it looks like the overspeed of the Ferrari is going to be massive. The Mercedes goes to the inside to defend. The Ferrari's going to have to make this move all the way around the outside. Very good racing, boys, and T2 has the position. Clean. Beautiful. That is what we like to see.
Chuckle Brothers moves down to P3, the last podium spot. Can he keep it?
He's got a 6-second buffer to Mark Ince, who in turn has a 5-second penalty. I believe, 5-second penalty. So
quit for 11 seconds.
It's looking like the podium's fairly secure, pending any mistakes. Still a long way to... Ooh, having said that, commentators curse. That looked like he gave the wall a kiss. I'm going to stop saying things. Commentators curse is such a great, powerful tool, isn't it?
Yes. If you're not joining us, you're watching Road to Glory. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, Road to Glory, F1. We have a very nice community.
Absolutely.
Yep.
We've also got Taylor in the chat. Nice move, Tom. And I couldn't agree more with you. Is that T2 in the pits? T2's coming in the pits.
Yes. Whoa.
I've got to question that. He must have damage, sure. No. He's not, no?
Fresh sauce. Brand new sauce.
Okay. I'm a bit lost for words there. After all of that effort to get into second place, he's just handed it on a plate back to them.
I don't think he can make those positions in 6 laps.
Surely not.
I know he's very quick, but no.
Surely not.
Oh. Mark Ince is on podium.
I mean, he's got, what, 24 seconds, give or take? To back to Chuckle Brothers?
Yeah, 24? Yeah, no, actually, he's 33 seconds off the leader.
Yeah.
Whoa.
He just wants that fastest lap, obviously, but goodness knows what that was about. I'm sure he'll tell us after the race. That's a very interesting move.
Probably he was losing faith in the mediums.
Yeah, quite possibly. You know, 11 laps old. We got 6 laps to go, 7 laps to go. But that has handed second place to Chuckle Brothers on a plate, really. Markins is actually catching them, isn't he? The gap was, 6 seconds. Is now down to 4.5 nearly. Yeah. So the McLaren driver on the move at the moment. However, if he does catch Chuckle Brothers, not only has he got to get past, He will have to pull a 5-second gap as well. So it's going to be a tall order for him.
West Face is on a millions, but for 12 laps. But if he could get in striking distance of Mark Ince, because you know Mark Ince has a penalty, that will work in his favor. But I don't see that happening in 5 laps. No.
No, not unless Mark Ince makes a mistake. You would have thought. You know, Mark Ince is on the fresher mediums as well, so he's surely going to have the better pace on that one. And yeah, you can see the time delta just getting bigger and bigger between the two. So
bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
3-second penalty for Aki.
Oh dear, Aki doing a little bit of a corner cut. Dropping away from the back of Gromfeld, but holding on quite nicely. Gromfeld's a very, very fast driver, so you know, don't feel too bad about that one. Having a nice race. I know he is running last of all the runners, but it is 7th. It is good points for him, and if he can get to the finish, I'm sure he's going to be very pleased with that indeed.
No traction control, no assist. He's doing very good.
Yeah, very, very difficult round here. So easy to outbrake yourself, lock up, and run into a wall. So easy to lose the back end on traction. Street circuits are the worst when you have no assists.
So currently there are no close battles. Everyone is just evenly spaced out. Let me jump on board with Tom and see. Tom is actually the closest person to Ross Face. So
certainly is.
This might be a little battle.
Catching him at quite a rate, and you imagine would probably get the purple lap as well.
Yeah.
And that extra point. And got bottom in the chat once again.
Come
Come on, Lando. I mean Mark. So he's cheering on his teammate. As
nice.
Yeah, you're right. Looks like Aki had a little bit of a moment. Not sure whether he's lost his front wing or it's still intact, but T to the B2 has caught up with the back of Russ for 4th and 5th place. Look how much more confident he is on those tyres, and I think he's going to absolutely sail past the Mercedes. He certainly does. Far superior grip.
And we all know Tom has the pace.
Yeah, Tom's a very, very fast driver. Very fast.
He has the pace, but he does not have the time.
No, I think you're right. I think that's the to be fair, that, you know, Tom is an incredibly fast and consistent driver. He just needs he's just unable to put the practice in due to other commitments.
Yeah.
Which is a real shame, but you know, one of these things we can't all be a bum and sit at home like me.
So to be so fast with lack of practice, imagine if he was putting in the practice.
Oh, absolutely. He is an insanely fast driver. Very, very difficult.
I could just receive a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Oh, dear. Sure he's not. Yeah, his race going from bad to worse. But like we say, he's still running, he's still in the race, and I'm sure he'll take that.
Yeah. Don't change your win, Aki. Put on some fresh sauce and go for that fastest lap.
Yeah, I think looks like we're riding on board with T to the B2, who's after that fastest lap. See whether he can manage it.
Yes.
We shall see. I tell you another driver who's been improving massively recently, and that's Paul Jones Jr. I'm speaking from personal experience. I've been racing him for these past 2 weeks, and he has been pushing me hard and hard. He is such a fast driver, so consistent as well.
The races that I have been in, he has been. A better lack of words. A better word for it would be just brilliant.
Yeah, completely and utterly.
The battles were nice.
Yeah, I've had some. Gromfeld gets a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Looks like, he's going to go try get that fastest lap back, isn't he? This is now fastest lap battle.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Paul's been just absolutely immense recently. Unstoppable. I've had some really, really good races with him. You know, so close. He's been pushing so hard, and I think the thing is as well, he keeps up such an incredible pace, but he very rarely gets a corner cutting penalty, even at the really easy tracks to do so. He's always super clean and super tidy.
Skillful, very skillful.
And it's very, very difficult to race and compete against somebody like that. So hats off to him.
Yeah. So the closest person to Tom as it relates to the fastest lap will be Grunfeld with a 1:37.670. Well, the fastest lap is 1:37.602. So let's see who ends with the fastest lap at the end of the race.
It is very close between the two there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tom's only snaked it by by a small amount.
Let me go on board with Grunfeld, because he's actually on brand new softs. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on brand new softs. Aki's also on brand new softs as well. Haven't had a little bit of a moment further back.
Aki's fastest lap was actually 1:38.9. Let's see if he could pull a 1:37 out the bag.
Yeah, it's coming to a very slow and gradual conclusion, this Grand Prix. A lot of people crashed out and everybody all spaced out. It was a very exciting start and middle to this Grand Prix.
Yep, we have 7 DNFs.
Yeah, it certainly is, and we forgot to do driver of the day. We have one vote, but it is null and void because it's Jason voting for himself, and we're not having that. So, yeah, if you are watching, please do vote for your driver of the day. Who deserves it? I mean, Paul Jones has been unstoppable. Chuckle Brothers has held in very nicely. Mark Ince has come through the pack very nicely indeed.
Well, for me, I would vote Mark Ince because for 2 reasons. He's on podium at the moment, and he gained 6 places. So I would vote Mark Ince. He had a relatively clean race. Just a little few mistakes there and here, but other than that, his race was sound. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very fair vote. He's also the driver that has gained the most positions, so on that basis, I imagine the game's going to give it to him as well. It's a very, very good drive. Held it out on those hard tyres. Obviously, with the last safety car, pitted for the mediums. Only dropped 2 places as a result. He's kept it nice and clean, as you say. Had some good pace. Hasn't been able to keep up with the leaders, but he is catching Chuckle Brothers as things stand for second place. I think it's going to be a little bit too late with his penalty, but see whether he can get the move made on track. We do have one vote. Jason has voted for Chuckle Brothers, driver of the day, and I think you can't you can't disagree. I think it's one of those that they both sort of deserve it, don't they? Really.
We need to split that. We need to split this price in half because Chuckle Brothers has come a long way.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we underestimated them in this race, Marcus. We really did.
Yeah, I think we could. I think we can all agree on that one for sure. And they've been under pressure from.
See Tom as well.
Yeah.
They were under pressure from Jason.
They certainly were. And Tom's actually not too far off of these guys now, in all honesty. T2 the B2 now within 3 seconds, and I think with Mark Ince's penalty, surely T2's going to get him for the last spot on the podium, which is going to be a shame for Mark Ince.
Yes, he will get him. He's only 2 seconds behind him.
Certainly is, and as much as I think Mark Ince has done well, you know, we've got to vote for Chuckle Brothers as driver of the day, and he's got no penalties, he's kept it clean. And
I agree.
He's going to come away with second in this race as things stand, as we cross the finish line on the final lap now at this Singapore Grand Prix. It's going to get spicy between Mark Ince and Chuckle Brothers. Can the McLaren driver make a move on this final lap? He won't get the position realistically after the penalty, but can he get it on track? DRS is wide open. He is all over the back of this Mercedes. It's a bit like Lando Norris versus Lewis Hamilton on track at the Austrian Grand Prix. He goes up the inside, and just like Lando Norris, he's got the position over the Mercedes, and that is a very nice move indeed. Very clean racing.
He can't put 5 seconds though.
But it's going to get spicy further back because that has allowed T2 the B2 all over the back of Chuckle Brothers. So can they hold on this final lap? There's no more big DRS zones, only the one over the bridge, really.
I think that Chuckle Brothers can hold on.
Yeah, they've just got to keep it neat and tidy. This is really the last place that they've got, and T2 has a fantastic drive out of that corner, and it looks like they've stolen the position of the Chuckle Brothers on the final lap for effective second place on the podium. What a move! What a move! And I'm gutted for Chuckle Brothers, but you know you can't argue. What a move!
Yeah.
But let's watch with the Red Bull, the leader, Paul Jones Jr. waving his card, absolute delight. He crosses the finish line and takes the checkered flag, a massive 13.5 seconds ahead of anyone else. He's thoroughly deserved this one. Mark Ince will cross the line to come home second. However, he does have a 5-second penalty and it will tumble him down the order. T2 the B2 second, Chuckle Brothers third, and that demotes Mark Ince down to fourth. Wow. What a race.
Whoa.
What a race. What did you make of that one?
Well, the last couple of laps were, we said it was ending slow, but they proved us wrong. That last lap was crazy.
It was, it certainly was. I was with you. I was sort of, no offence to T2, but I was kind of hoping Chuckle Brothers were holding on to that one, but unfortunately it wasn't to be.
So it all worked out for Tom then, because...
Oh, Gromfeld's just crashed on the line.
Yeah.
I think he may have done that on purpose, but there we go. Yeah,
Only person on track is Aki at the moment.
Yeah, just waiting for Aki, as you say, to cross the line. Going to come home in 7th place. It's been a valiant effort from the Racing Point. He's held on. He's done incredibly well with his no assists. So fair play to him. Round of applause, I think Mark has earned here.
Yeah.
Through the last sector now, just threading it through, taking it nice and easy. Not sure whether he'll gain the position on Gromfeld, because Gromfeld's DNF, but I don't think he will, because he has actually crossed the line. And there we go. That is all our drivers across the line.
7 of them.
Absolutely. Driver of the day, got to be Chuckle Brothers. The game does give it to Mark Ince, but I think he comes a worthy runner-up in that, definitely.
True.
But folks have given it to Chuckle Brothers. How have you enjoyed it, ARG?
My first time commentating, I give it 10 out of 10.
Happy days, happy days.
Something
well, it's been a pleasure.
Again.
It's been a pleasure to have you alongside, mate. It's been a good one.
Nice, nice.
We certainly had a race that lived up to all expectations, as always in Tier 1.
Road to glory.
Certainly is. Road to glory. Tier 1, Season 2. And I believe Wednesday's race won't be going ahead, might be rescheduled because of the football. But we will be back with, if you tune in to Aki's YouTube channel, we'll be back on Thursday with Tier 3 on that one. But yeah, there you go, have it. Final standings, Paul Jones Jr., dominant win in the end. T2 the B2 recovers, despite that extra pit stop at the end, to come home second, and does nick that fastest lap. Gromfeld didn't beat it. Chuckle Brothers, a fantastic podium. Mark Ince, a great recovery drive. Russ in 5th, Gromfeld 6th, and Aki, the last of your runners, in 7th position. Everyone else DNF'd in this race. Bottomer, One Wing, Jason, Jim Bob, Bumper Car Ben, Simon Jr., and Benjamin 4454.
Yep.
Absolutely. There we have it. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. And thank you very much, ARG, for joining me.
You're most welcome, Marcus. Anytime.
No worries. We will wrap up the stream there. But do tune in next week. Hopefully ARG will be joining me once again. But yes, until then...
Once I have time, I will.
Certainly. But until then, bye-bye.